I don't know about you, but it's easy for me to read scripture and kind of picture what it would be like to be that person in the Bible. I know many of us readily identify with the Apostle Peter, with how quickly he stumbles over his words and then, is so passionate about repenting. Um, but a lot of us would never dream of being somebody as rock starish as Paul, especially when he says these kind of things. That it's bold, and we just can't imagine having this sort of strength. He says, "For the sake of Christ, then, I'm content with weakness, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I'm weak, then I am strong." And you read that on its own, and it's very discouraging because many of us are experiencing a handful or some combination of these different things. It's an election year, so we might be experiencing insults, or maybe you should pray about this because you're the one giving the insults. But hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I'm weak, then I'm strong. I know that that's not how I feel, and I don't feel content. And so you have to dig a little bit deeper into what's going on here. And this is the letter to the Corinthian church. This is Paul's second letter. And so you just go up a few more verses. This is 2 Corinthians 12, verses 9 and 10. And Paul had just asked the Lord 3 times to have, this mysterious thorn removed from his flesh. And here's where it picks up in verse 9. It says, "But he said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weakness, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong.'" And maybe this seems like an obvious thing to you, and that's okay, I guess, but Paul, the goodness that we see in him, it comes from the grace of Jesus. And that's even a bold statement to hear from Jesus, like, his grace is sufficient. And so, believer, do you believe that? In this season of chaos where there are insults being hurled, when you see that post on social media that you adamantly don't agree with, you can know that his grace is sufficient for you. Maybe you don't have to respond to everything that is not right. His grace is sufficient for you. And you can trust that God knows what he's doing, and he will bring his kingdom to fruition. He will enact his will. He's not surprised, and his grace is sufficient for you.